Have you ever felt stuck in your career or unsure of the path you're on? We've all been there at some point. In this video, we'll be exploring 5 lessons from Charles Darwin's theory of evolution that can help us navigate uncertainty, adapt to change, and achieve success. By understanding and applying these principles, we can unlock our potential and thrive in any environment, just like the species that have survived and flourished throughout history. So let us dive in and discover how we can use Darwin's wisdom to improve our lives and careers. Lesson 1. Embrace change and be willing to pivot. Charles Darwin's most famous work, On the Origin of Species, revolutionized our understanding of the natural world by proposing that species evolve over time through a process he called natural selection. This theory suggests that organisms that are better adapted to their environment are more likely to survive and reproduce, passing on their advantageous traits to future generations. Darwin observed that species are not static, but rather change and adapt over time in response to changes in their environment. He noted that those individuals within a population that are better suited to the current environment are more likely to survive and reproduce, passing on their traits to the next generation. Over time, these small changes can add up to significant adaptations that allow species to thrive in their environment. But what does this mean for us in our careers? The job market is constantly evolving with new technologies, industries, and economic shifts emerging all the time. It's essential to stay flexible and be willing to pivot when necessary. Just like species that adapt to environmental changes, we must be prepared to change course and acquire new skills to remain competitive. Darwin himself spent years studying different species and their behaviors. Before developing his theory of evolution, he was willing to challenge his own beliefs and explore new ideas, which ultimately led to one of the most groundbreaking scientific discoveries of all time. Similarly, we must be open to exploring different career paths and acquiring new skills to stay relevant and successful. Embracing change and being willing to pivot when necessary is crucial for long-term success. Lesson 2. Identify your unique niche and specialize. One of the key concepts in Darwin's theory of evolution is the idea of natural selection. This principle suggests that organisms with traits better suited to their environment are more likely to survive and reproduce. In other words, the ones that are well adapted to their niche are the ones that thrive. Darwin observed that species that are generalists, meaning they have a wide range of traits and can adapt to various environments, are often outcompeted by species that are specialists, meaning they have specific traits that make them particularly good at surviving in a particular environment. For example, Darwin's finches, which are found in the Galapagos Islands, evolved from a common ancestor, but over time, they developed different beak shapes and sizes that allowed them to specialize in eating different types of food. This specialization allowed them to thrive in different niches within the ecosystem, reducing competition and allowing multiple species to coexist. In today's fast-paced and competitive job market, it's important to remember that being a generalist isn't always enough to stand out. To be successful, you need to identify your unique niche and specialize your skills and expertise in a particular area. By doing so, you'll be able to differentiate yourself from the competition and position yourself for success. Just like Darwin's finches, you can find your own niche and become the expert in your field by continually learning and growing in your chosen area of specialization. Lesson 3. Learn from the past, but don't dwell there. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution is built on the idea of adaptation and natural selection. He observed that species that are able to adapt to changing environments are more likely to survive and reproduce. One way that organisms adapt is by learning from their past experiences and using that knowledge to inform their future behavior. For example, animals that have been hunted by predators in the past will be more cautious and evasive in the future, while plants that have struggled to find enough sunlight will grow towards the nearest light source. Similarly, we can learn from our past experiences and use that knowledge to shape our future actions. Reflecting on our mistakes and successes can help us identify patterns in our behavior and the environments we operate in. This can provide valuable insights into what works and what doesn't, allowing us to make better decisions in the future. However, it's also important not to dwell on the past. Darwin recognized that, while the past provides valuable lessons, it's the present and future that determine an organism's fate. Focusing too much on past mistakes or failures can lead to inaction and a failure to adapt to current challenges. Instead, we should use the lessons from our past to inform our present and future actions, allowing us to move forward with greater confidence and wisdom. Lesson 4. The importance of collaboration and community. Darwin's theory of evolution is often viewed as an individualistic theory, focusing on the survival of the fittest. However, Darwin himself recognized the importance of collaboration and community in the process of adaptation. In his book, The Descent of Man, Darwin argued that humans, like other animals, are social creatures who rely on cooperation and community to survive. He believed that our ability to work together and form communities is a key factor in our success as a species. Darwin also recognized the importance of diversity within communities. In his later work, The Power of the Struggle for Existence, he argued that diversity is essential for the long-term survival of a species. By working together and embracing diversity, we can build strong communities that are better equipped to face challenges and adapt to change. This lesson can be applied to our personal and professional lives. Building a strong network of collaborators and mentors can provide us with the support and guidance we need to succeed. By working together and sharing our knowledge and skills, we can accomplish more than we could ever do alone. Embracing diversity in our communities and valuing the unique perspectives and experiences of others can also help us to be more adaptable and innovative. Remember that true success is not achieved alone. Collaborate, build strong relationships, and embrace diversity to create a thriving community. Lesson 5. Strive for progress, not perfection. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution is based on the concept of natural selection, which suggests that organisms that are better adapted to their environment are more likely to survive and reproduce. However, Darwin also recognized that adaptation is a gradual process that occurs over many generations. In his book, On the Origin of Species, Darwin argued that organisms do not strive for perfection, but rather for progress. He believed that the environment is constantly changing and that species must adapt accordingly. As a result, the goal of natural selection is not to create the perfect organism, but rather an organism that is well suited to its current environment. We can apply this lesson to our personal and professional lives by focusing on progress rather than perfection. Striving for progress means that we should continually learn and grow, but also be open to change and adapt as needed. Trying to achieve perfection can be a futile and even harmful endeavor, as it can lead to procrastination, burnout, and a fear of failure. Instead, we should focus on making progress towards our goals, no matter how small the steps may seem. Every step forward is a step in the right direction. Remember, progress, not perfection, is the key to success. By incorporating these lessons into your life, you can navigate your career with greater confidence and resilience. It is essential to recognize that our careers are not linear, and that we will face challenges and setbacks along the way. However, by embracing change, specializing our skills, learning from the past, collaborating with others, and striving for progress, we can position ourselves for long-term success. As you reflect on your career and consider the path ahead, ask yourself, how can you apply these lessons to your own journey? Are you embracing change and being willing to pivot when necessary? Have you identified your unique niche and specialized your skills? Are you learning from the past while also looking to the future? Are you collaborating with others and building a strong network of support? And are you striving for progress rather than perfection? By focusing on these areas, you can set yourself up for success and thrive in your career. Remember, the world is constantly changing and evolving, and we must be willing to adapt and change with it. By following Darwin's timeless wisdom, we can navigate these changes with greater ease and achieve our goals. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy evolving.